Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of Lost in Translation Mon. I'm May.
And I'm Jay.
This week, we watched Destroy the Dark Tower.
Or Old Reliable.
And A Dangerous Picnic.
Or Family Picnic.
First episode that we're going to be watching this week.
Sorry, do that again, I closed the door.
Okay. The first episode that we're going to be watching this week is called Old Reliable or Destroy the Dark Tower. What do you think will happen in this episode?
Oh, that is really, really unhelpful. Because
Well, you know that they're going to be destroying a dark tower.
Yeah, but I mean, but we already knew that from the last episode. They kind of said they were going to. Old Reliable, to the best of my knowledge, is a reference to the geyser in Yellowstone Park that always goes off at the same times, or in the same amount of time. But I can't see what relevance that could possibly have to the digital world, with it not being in Yellowstone Park. Duh. So I'm just blanking really hard. So, there's a million of these black towers going around. I think we're probably going to have, I would say a couple episodes, but at least this one, it'll be, your formula is, alright, we found another black tower, let's go. And they try to get there, and there's a weird kind of new Digimon they have to fight. I'm trying to figure out, now that you've kind of got all the characters introduced and they're all powered up pretty much as high as they're going to go for a little while, how you can have any drama, because they should just instantly win all fights, unless they split up in some way. They probably won't, though. God, Old Reliable is the most useless thing ever. I'm sure I'll watch it. It makes sense.
You don't think the Old Reliable refers to any Digimon or anything?
I can't imagine that it does.
Okay.
Unless it's the most hilarious yellow brick enemy, and it's Yellowstone. I don't know. I guess it could, but seems pretty unlikely. Okay. You started to ask me misleading questions, so I don't know how to respond. You used to ask leading questions, which are basically telling me what's going to happen, and then you started asking questions that are lies.
I think I ask you a good 50-50 split between questions that lead absolutely nowhere and questions that could possibly hit you in the right way, but I think either way is probably too leading into what you're going to say, so I'm just trying to let you say what would come naturally.
My elbows and knees are getting really itchy from these puppet strings you got going here.
Wonder what it'd be like to have elbows.
You have two of them.
I know, I'm quoting Gomamon.
He has oh no, he doesn't. He's just got flips.
Yeah, no, he says in one episode, I wonder what it's like to have elbows.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking he doesn't actually have them, yeah, because he's got flippers. So,
do you think this will be based around a child or a Digimon or anything? Last episode, you said was Daisuke focused, and I guess kind of Yamato focused in a way. Do you think this will be focused on anybody in particular?
Okay, actually, Old Reliable. Now, we don't have a crest of reliability in this party.
Do you think there's going to be a new character, maybe?
Okay, it might be that they find the Digimental of reliability, and it belongs to Ken, but he doesn't know. Except that wouldn't he already have it if his D3 upgraded? No, I guess not.
Because we know that his D3 upgraded when he put it in the water.
Yeah. So we
know that from the WonderSwan games.
They might find the Digimental of reliability. That's... Well,
that is the English title, so considering that's what the Digimental is, maybe they do.
So, yeah, because it would be friendship if it was Japanese. Wait, was it?
No, it's sincerity.
Sincerity, right.
Old sincerity.
Old sincere. Yeah, so that might be it, and that'll be your Chekhov's gun to how they beat the Digimon Emperor. That's not bad.
So you think Ken is going to be beaten in one of these two episodes?
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be the end of the first arc, and it'll build up to it. It'd be really weird if they were just setting up... They just showed you that he basically conquered the whole world, and now it's no, but they beat him right now. It's fine.
So what do you think, presumably, presuming that this is the Digimental belonging to Ken,
yeah, what
do you think that the armor form with reliability with Wormon would look like? Because usually we just strap the metal onto it.
It's probably like a metal butterfly or something. I mean, that would make sense, right? That would be your Caterpie. That would be your Weedle. It's Caterpillarmon, right? Or something like that?
Wormon.
Oh. It should turn into what does a silkworm turn into? A moth, right?
Yes, I think.
Yeah, it should turn into something like that. It's probably going to turn into a bigger bug, but it should turn into like a moth.
Any
But
other
then again, this is Digimon, so it might turn into an armadillo.
Anything else you want to say about this episode before we move on to the next one?
At some point, they're going to bash up a dark tower. That I'm sure about.
Yeah,
They killed two in the last episode.
yeah, they're doing pretty well.
Two out of like 1,000.
So the next episode that we're watching is called Family Picnic or A Dangerous Picnic.
Okay. Who's? Okay, so it's weird though because none of the people in the main team are family anymore. It's the older kids are gone, but
Well, we do have family members like Jun or anything. Like we do have family members who are connected to the current Digidestined.
no, but it doesn't make sense for them to be in there because it would imply that the Digimon, the evil ones, are in the real world already, and it's
Right.
way too early in the season for that to happen. So, I'm thinking that's a Kari-centric episode, and Tai shows up, and because Agumon can't evolve, she has to save him. That would actually be really cool. I would like that a lot if they showed her character development and that she's saving Tai now. It
Right.
sounds really familiar. Why is this title really? There was a thing in Adventure that was really similar where I think it was a family something too. Was it the one where they bombing the city? No, that was,
No, that was like protect the city or bomb the city or something. Bombing mission the city or something like that.
yeah. I'm trying to remember. I'm sure there was one that was very similar. It was like family something, then a dangerous something. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think, I mean, the closest thing I can think of is playing games or a dangerous game, which is Pinokimon's
Maybe
episode.
that's it.
Yeah, which is a dangerous blank, but not.
The most
I can't,
dangerous game.
I can't remember ever having a picnic because
No, I
we
don't
would
think
have a
Picnic
picnic in the
was.
digital world.
I thought it was a family something then in my head, but it's fine. I'm allowed to be wrong. Not usually, but it's known to happen.
So, anything else you want to say about that episode?
No, I think the second one is usually much harder to guess because obviously you haven't seen the one beforehand,
Mm,
and also the name is the same pretty much. Actually,
yeah,
the dangerous one helps out. There's going to be danger. Did you know? But
uh,
they're just writing down there's going to be danger.
yeah, because I've got to make these really in-depth and accurate notes.
I should give you much less information just so you have a more difficult time.
So I forgot to do this earlier, but what do you think you'll rate Old Reliable or Destroy the Dark Tower?
Um, I'm feeling it's gonna be a big setup episode, so like a 6. I don't see it really going anywhere. It feels really fillery with the Destroy the Dark Tower, but at least if they find the Digimental and they have a good discussion about, oh no, who could this other kid be? If they ask Joe to try and get a new Digimon, that would be a huge deal. Like, hey Joe, get over here, and he tries, it doesn't work, so then it's a big mystery. That'd be cool. It won't, but it'd be really cool because he's busy with exams, like he is in everything.
Oh, in the first season, he wasn't busy
No,
with
no. Besides
exams.
the first season, because he was on camp and time was slowed down.
Uh huh.
I think in every piece of media beyond season one, is he just busy with exams all the time?
Yeah. Well, he wants to be a doctor, so
He doesn't really though.
well, I guess at this point, he thinks he does.
And in try, he's not really going to be. Like,
Maybe.
he's always doing exams, and you're always thinking, oh, he's supposed to be studying really hard. Then in try, you finally find out he's not doing a good job.
Well, presumably the next movie will give us some information about Joe.
Maybe.
So, what do you think you're gonna rate Family Picnic or A Dangerous Picnic?
But yeah, it has a lot of potential to be really good,
Mm-hmm.
but I have no trust in the show whatsoever. So a 4.
All right. And anything else you want to say about either of these two episodes? Do you think you're gonna be finding yourself liking these episodes more, or
Hey, I really want to like this episode more because we get a lot of questions that or responses to our show that
Mhm.
say, it's just the early season. You'll get into it. It'll get there, and I'm more than happy to wait for it to get good. I just really want it to,
Mhm.
but I don't have a lot of faith in it. And to be fair, I didn't have a lot of faith in Adventure, but that was really justified since the first half of it was really bad.
do you think the episodes that we've watched so far are better than the first few episodes of Adventure that we watched? Like, we're definitely getting into the plot.
I want to. Here's the thing: if I didn't know about the Dark Seed, I
Mhm.
would say no. I would say these are much worse. But because I do know there's an explanation, I do understand why a lot of the really bonkers stuff is going on. Because I wouldn't have found that mystery interesting. I feel like there are enough rules in place that breaking the rules makes you think that the writers are stupid, not that they were intentionally putting something in place to be interesting.
Right.
So yeah, it is a bit better. There's more stuff going on. I hate Daisuke a lot, but I also hated Mimi a lot at the beginning. So
And Mimi's now the best character.
not the best, but it's fine. Kari wasn't around, and then when she showed up, she didn't make the show a lot. She didn't make the show particularly better. I still think it should have been TK the whole time, or it could have been Kari the whole time. Doesn't matter. It's not like Matt was that interesting. He didn't need to have anyone around to characterize him. But just get rid of Matt, put TK in his spot, and then have Kari there from the beginning. It's all fine.
So our first message for Postmon Pat this week is on With the Will, and it's from Fexmith. And he says, I thought it was pretty clear that the changes the Digimon Emperor is doing to the digital world are all via hacking. It is a digital world after all. And Koshiro did do some hacking too. He only had access to his laptop, and had only been there for a few days, but he did hack Tentomon into evolving against Andromon, and basically hacked an entire city in that Machinemon episode. The Digimon Emperor has more resources and experiences, and possibly more knowledge because of the Black Spore. So of course he can do more than Koshiro did. Also, I think he's a bit older than Koshiro. Like,
it could only be by like 1 year.
Yeah, like Koshiro was 10.
But also, that would imply that he needs, in every situation you describe, there's a piece of machinery, there's a laptop, there's a computer outside, there's a lot of stuff going on. But we've seen Digimon Emperor start shifting stuff on the fly. With, like, the example of the cliff with Vmon,
Yeah.
where it just slides open with no external effect, no action on his part. You can't pretend that was pre-programmed, because that would be insane.
He might have like a little remote or something, or...
But that particular section of cliff, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was sort of under the impression that it moved because of the Digimon that were there, like Digimon, because it has a big horn in its
No,
face.
it was a pure square that slid in and out like a machine.
Maybe he has like a program on his D3 or something, or his D terminal.
Well, it is the job of the show to show that happening, and it never does. And I'm sure it never will.
But yeah, I'm under the impression that, yeah, he's hacking everything, and he's just really good at hacking because he's just a kid genius. And we've seen that. Like, we've seen it, like, he was on the TV, and they were talking about how he's a child genius. The next message is from Chuckmon, and they say, although it's a matter of taste, I have to disagree with Jay on who is better, Pegasusmon or Nefertimon. I love Pegasusmon. He looks awesome, and his star shower attack animation is beautiful. Nefertimon is definitely the most logical cat-related Digivolution, and not a bad one for Armor Digivolution, but she looks so much colder, possibly because there's a giant Sphinx mask covering her face. They're both decent, but we haven't hit my faves yet with the Armor evolutions. What do you guys think about the increase in obvious rideable Digimon? Gives the kids a chance to ride along with the action, I guess. I like it. I feel sorry for it seems that Cody and Davis only have, like, they don't have rideable ones. Like, you can't ride. I guess you could ride
Davis
a Digimon.
will.
Well, stop watching the spoilers in the
In
opening.
the intros of the show I'm watching.
But, like, Halcymon's useful because of wings, Pegasusmon's useful because of wings, Nefertimon's useful because of wings. And I guess, like, they probably saw that in the first season. They're like, wow, we have, like, you can't really ride a few of these. Like, you can sort of try to, but it doesn't look comfortable.
But it doesn't matter anyway, because it's not like they would have ever had time. Okay, first of all, they did ride on, say, Ikakumon occasionally, but evolutions
that was the most useful, besides Birdramon.
They don't usually last long enough to ride them anywhere.
Well, initially I think that they don't last long enough. Chuckmon then goes on to say that the music and the dub fits Davis a lot, and that they like it a lot. And I agree with that. Like, Let's Kick It Up reminds me of how, like, Davis is always playing football, and
This is with kick in it.
Yeah,
that's thematic.
That's what you do in sport. You kick them.
Yeah, totally.
Chuckmon then says that they're shocked that neither of us commented on how bad the Tyrannomon animation was.
I had a bit in my notes about it, and it's just the stupid Tyrannomon sliding into the screen.
Yeah, that's what Chuckmon noticed.
But I've commented on that a bunch of times. That's how they cut costs in this show. They just slide the animation cell across.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure that in the first episode we watched this week, Digmon is actually floating on the water when he uses his Gold Rush attack.
When they're running through the snow.
On a one-horse open sleigh?
No, on a 5 Digimon.
Over the hills they go.
On a 5 Digimon sleigh.
Laughing all the way.
So you can see the Digimon running, and there's just sliding because the running has no... Their running is not related to the speed they're moving, because they're an animation loop, and then they're just being dragged along.
Mm. Then Chuckmon says that they knew that you would hate Daisuke/Davis.
Oh, good.
Because most people do.
I
But
appreciate that,
Chuckmon
everybody.
says that they love him.
That's a mistake.
He's harder to like because he's much more abrasive, but he loves the English VA, and so Chuckmon says that they tolerate it. Deep down, Daisuke is really sweet, but very insecure, but so desperate to be cool, he can't get out of his own way. His immaturity and inexperience is all the more apparent when around seasoned Digidestined like the older kids, Hikari and Tekeru, have grown so much from their first adventure. Unfortunately, his personality doesn't allow him to be so humbling, so he tends to be more bumbling. But I love him all the same. 02's adventure will let Daisuke grow, Miyako and Iori too, but then inexperience is less obvious by the lack of screen time and softer personalities, Iori more so than Miyako, plus the Daisuke-Vmon partnership is endearingly sweet.
Like, I understand where you're coming from, but I think he's just so close to Tai that we have this problem where it is slightly different because he's worse, but we kind of already saw this character. We already saw his development, and that was great. And so he's back on the screen. He's undeveloped now. He's reverted to this different character who's basically the exact same guy.
Mm-hmm.
And at this stage, I mean, I don't know what there is to like about him. It's awful.
Well, I actually have a theory that this isn't his personality. He really likes Tai. He looks up to him, like, they know each other because of the football club. So, like, he idolizes him. He wears goggles because of him. Like, that's why he started wearing goggles. So, he might have, like, heard of him and how he was when he was that age. So, he said, I should act like that too. Like, he's trying to imitate Taichi more than actually is him.
That makes no sense. Why would he imitate him before the age at which he knew him and idolized him?
Well, maybe he knew him when he was much younger and he knew Taichi just, like, when he was closer to the age that he is now. Or maybe he just knew him when he was much younger and is imitating the Taichi that he knew. Because Taichi does seem like he's matured, and like he obviously has from what we've seen in Adventure.
I don't get the impression that they haven't seen each other for 2 years. I'm sure he sees them all the time.
He might have
if he's imitating him, he would constantly change to be accurate.
When they were both in primary school together, they probably would have seen each other. Like, he was probably like he looked up to his like little kid that followed him around.
I know.
I mean, we don't know that, but that's what I just think. Like, that he acts like that because he just knows Taichi was like that and he wants to be Taichi.
The impression I got when they met again, they were like, oh, it's good to see you. It's been a week, maybe 2, maybe a month at most.
Yeah. There's
no way he'd be like, I remember when he was like 2 years ago, I'm going to be that.
Mm.
He would have developed along with him.
Well, anyway, that's just my theory. Then Chuckmon says that my theory is, I don't know if it's my theory. Chuckmon then says that May, please don't allow Jay to quit the podcast until at least after Digimon Frontier. I think it's my favourite, and I'd love his untarnished, unromanticized, non-fanboyish take on things. I like Digimon Frontier too. I think like people tend to not like Digimon Frontier, but I think it's really good. I like it.
I think you overestimate May's power in this decision, and also my desire to leave.
Yeah, we're going to be watching for until there's no more Digimon to watch.
And that'll be a great day.
But then we have to watch X Evolution again.
No, when there's nothing left to watch, that'll be a great day. Yeah.
Well, that's why I want to have other stuff that a YouTube channel where we do Let's Plays and stuff. That'd be cool.
You've ruined my great day.
But no, I do really want to make you play my favourite Digimon game, which was Digimon 2003. Do you like JRPGs?
Kind of.
Okay, you'll like it then. It's a JRPG just with Digimon in it for some reason. It's a JRPG with a Digimon skin. It's a really good game. I love it.
Okay.
And then we have another one on With the Will from MetalMamemon, who asks you a question, which is, you've said you find the new Chosen to be uninteresting, and that you actually hate Daisuke. Do you think that will change as the show progresses? To what degree do you think they will mature as characters, if at all? And would you like to see them show up in Try?
Okay, so, I mean, obviously the answer is they might develop, because I hated most of the kids at the beginning of Adventure, and now I love most of them. And Matt still sucks, but I'm surprised that he sucks at the end, and he never gets any better. It's actually shocking.
But he turns around, and so we can see what's behind him.
What?
That's the song he sings in the English version.
Oh, sorry, there was a thing in a book I read recently where that exact action to turn around that you saw behind someone showed that someone was in love with another person.
Oh, maybe that's what the song's about then.
It's not about that. It was because the person was holding up a knife, and instead of thinking they were an assassin, they assumed the person was aiming at an assassin behind them. And that shows that they trust them. It's very complicated.
But that was definitely 14. About that.
Anyway, so they might get better, but I think that they have less room to develop because I mean, 2 of the 3 new kids have started already functional. There's nothing wrong with them. Iori is so functional already. He's the most mature kid that's ever been on any one of these teams. I would compare him to Joe directly, except that he's 2 years younger than Joe was, or even less. Because Joe was the oldest, yeah?
Yeah, Joe was always the oldest. He was like 12 and 15.
So he always like 4 years younger than he was.
Mm-hmm.
And they're comparable. So he's great. There's nothing wrong with him. There's nowhere for him to go. And his relationship with his Digimon, which we'll cover a little bit today, but it's already solved. They're already happy. So there's nowhere for that to go. Yoli or Miyako, it's the weirdest thing. I only think of Iori as Iori. I only think of her as Yoli.
That's weird.
So I'm mixing the Japanese and English, and then I hear the other names, I go, who are they?
Yeah, because I was talking to you the other day, and I was just like, oh yeah, so Cody. And you're like, who is
Was
Cody?
that last episode?
No, that was like after we recorded. Like, we were just, I think it was when we went to Coles.
Sure, alright.
Yeah, and you're like, who's Cody? Is that it? Are you spoiling characters for me? Like, no.
So
We know this character.
she's already really good. She's good with the computers. She's a bit of a fangirl, but that's not a problem. She's enthusiastic, but she has no clear character problems that need to be solved in any way. And
She's in love with Mimi.
that's not a character problem, though. The only person who
The fact.
has development and who has a development arc that I can see happening is Daisuke, but I hate him, so I don't care right now, just because I've already seen it. Now, you look at all the kids from the beginning of Adventure. Every single one of them had a problem, and when they realized their crests and everything, that was kind of how they got the solutions. Izzy was completely withdrawn into his own head. Tai was kind of a stupid idiot who didn't think things through. He didn't plan well, but he had the makings of a good leader. Matt, I'm not going to talk about because I hate him. Mimi was, she got better in Japanese. She was this huge, cowardly girly girl, and eventually she got much better, and she became a hero. Sora didn't have a capacity for love, and wanted to be left alone, and that was quickly sorted out. TK was a child who had to develop into a hero in his own right. The other person who I don't count here is Kari, because her crest is light, and she was Jesus.
And also she showed up, like, more than halfway through the season.
Joe was also a huge coward, and he eventually learned his
More
stuff.
so in the English version, though.
Yeah,
but they gave him all these fake allergies.
Yeah, there was pretty much every kid had a huge problem that they had to overcome, and their Digimon helped them out with it, their adventures helped them out with it, and at the end of the day, they were better people. Iori's not going to become a better person as a result of this. He's already the best person he could be. He's respectful, he's kind, he has very nice friends.
And he's so polite. Like, he's he's polite as, like, Koshiro was. You know how he was always, like, bowing and was very formal?
But he's not as robotic about it.
Mm.
He's more genuine.
Yeah, but he's doing it because, like, he wants to make his dead father proud, and, like, he wants to, like, do what his grandfather says.
But, like, while most of the time I would think, okay, so the storyline will be confronting that, instead, he's already doing it. And good on him. There's nothing for him to develop. He's already there. And the Digimon involved here, I don't think challenge the kids in any way. Vmon is exactly the same character as Agumon always was. Except maybe even more immature, which is just like Daisuke. It's exactly the same.
Mm.
And that mirroring would be interesting if it went anywhere, but they don't really challenge each other in the way that, say, Piamon challenged Sora. Hawkmon and Armadillomon have no person. They have the most one-dimensional personalities, and they feel like afterthoughts. But which is weird, because going into Season 2 with less new Digimon, you'd think you'd have more time.
Mm.
Instead of making 8 of them, you'll have to do 3. You'd think that would be much easier to develop. You have much more time to devote to these. Maybe. Look, and it's right at the beginning, but we're a few episodes in, and I'm really concerned about the way things are framed, and I'll really discuss it at the end of episode 2, because it's a pattern in both, where the show has these really good opportunities to show where development's going to go, and instead pulls back, it does a different thing entirely.
The next question is over to Tumblr, so it's an Anonymon, and they have another question for you. In the last season, there were 8 crests, but in this season, there have only been 5. Do you think that the other 3 crests will appear on other Digi-Eggs? If you think they do you think there'll be another 3 new kids? And how do you think the eggs will be handled? Also, do you think that Vmon, Hawkmon, and Armadillomon will ever reach champion, or will they continue to use Armor Digivolutions?
Well, I'm pretty sure Vmon does, because, of the intro. I don't think Armor Evolution goes up another level. That'd be really dumb.
So do you think that, like, that Vemon will get another Digi-Egg?
No, I think the Digi-Eggs are just a transfer of the crest.
Okay, so you don't think there'll
Or
be...
not a transfer, a representation.
So do you think that the Digi-Eggs will still be there? Like, do you think the...
But they don't even have the eggs.
I'm talking about the remaining 3.
Well, there's at
seen.
least one is Ken's.
So which do you think Ken's has? So we haven't seen purity, reliability, well, I guess sincerity, reliability, and friendship.
I think his will be friendship, because that's what he's clearly missing. And so, as the singular guy, it would make sense for his crest to be his antithesis, because that's what he is in real life. He's a really friendly dude, and then he got evilized. That's a possibility. I don't think the other two will show up. I don't see them introducing 2 random new characters.
So you're going to... so what Joe says was just like a red herring sort of thing? In both versions, Joe says, so if my egg shows up, I just might come around again. Do you think that was just a red herring?
I do, yeah.
So
I think it's him wanting to get involved, because in his mind, he sees Kari and TK who get their eggs, and they get to get these new Digivices. Like, I want this again. I don't want to do this stupid doctor stuff with the exams. That sucks. And we learned in Tri, it's ruining his life. This is probably the beginning of that.
Yeah.
He wants his adventure back.
So do you think that only Vemon will get another evolution? Do you think...
I think the others will. There's 50 episodes. They have to evolve to something different. I'd be shocked if they all stayed.
How many evolutions do you think they'll get?
I would think they'd go up to perfect, or whatever. I mean, you got 50 episodes. That's the thing. You've got to think, even if you parcel them out, it's eventually got to get there. The weird thing in that situation would be Gatomon and Patamon doesn't make any sense, because they already got there, so you can't reveal anything new for them.
Yeah.
It'd be really weird if Wormmon Armor digivolved, because at that stage, the Black Towers would probably all be gone, so why would you bother?
The next is another Anonymon, and they say they love the scenes with the Digimon in the computer class, where the baby Digimon are so childish and fooling around, and Patamon's sort of fooling around with them because he never really had a childish personality. Like, he has a childish personality too. While Talmon gives them all a look, like, she doesn't want them to because she's not really she doesn't really have a childish personality.
Well, she's an adult.
Yeah, she's an adult. She was the new Digimon season in the first season, and now she has to fit in with the new crowd all over again.
We appreciate that perspective. I think we posted that picture of that moment. That was
of the face.
popular.
Yeah, it was her just like she's saying, "Oh, I don't want to have to deal with these babies. I don't want to babysit
Little babies."
And really, like she is an adult, so she's like hanging out with like these children who are just, and especially the baby Digimon who are just toddlers basically.
She could voluntarily de-evolve, I'm sure, and hang out with them.
I wish she was Plotmon in this.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean. I know that they nerfed her, and that's fair enough. They made her effectively a child-level Digimon, but, like...
I would have preferred if the nerf and they took away the ring was what was keeping her as an adult. And then when you got rid of the ring, she falls down to Plotmon again.
Yeah, that would have been fine. Like
that would explain it so much better.
Yeah. Like, and then she just... Like, that's the thing that's been keeping her as an adult level when others, like, would evolve back to in training forms, even. The next one says... It's another Anonymon, and they say, regarding May's comment on Daisuke not being that brave. I get that the point was that everyone could be a better leader than Daisuke because it's sad because Daisuke isn't bad, but he's just not good enough for a leader compared to everyone. Him being picked by Taichi rather than elected by the others through time doesn't help because a leader needs to be more than bravery. So, like, I think that, like, bravery shouldn't mean leader. Like, a leader doesn't have to be brave, I guess. Like, a leader just has to be a good leader.
Yeah, there's a distinction between decisiveness and courage.
Yeah.
Right?
Which I think Taichi had to learn in the episode where his quest activated, because he just thought, like, bravery is jumping in front of this dinosaur. Yeah. Yes!
He had a whole arc about what bravery is. And I think it's really odd that the show that really taught this very particular and distinct lesson about learning what it is to be a leader, earning that right, and then, okay, he just gives it to the next guy.
Yeah.
It would be the same as having a full season of some show about a revolution and being a good king and doing all that stuff and pretty much getting elected as a monarch or some such, and it's a whole political importance. And then the very next season begins, and that guy dies, and his son takes over. It's like, haha, the monarchy was always inherited.
Like, I did like that episode in Digimon Adventure where they've basically said, Taichi, you're our leader, what do we do? And he, instead of, making a brash decision, says, I choose that we let Izzy decide because he will be able to.
Delegation is important.
Yeah. So, and I kind of like that. Like, he didn't really have that with Daisuke. He just sort of, Taichi came along and said, oh, I guess because you have the crest of courage, you're a leader.
No, because he has goggles.
But he had the goggles to
Can't
copy
be the
him.
leader without. Can't be the leader of
The
the
goggles
just without
sort of
goggles.
copy him, though. The next Anonymon says, I think the Dark Digivice controls the Dark Rings as well. So when the Dark Tower is destroyed, when the Kaiser is in the area, doesn't mean that he would stop controlling the Digimon he's riding. And he's also tactical in the battle, so he must have a plan in case the Digimon attacked him directly, like he was attacking Talmon and Patamon because they were weak. He could attack the kids to prevent Flamedramon from attacking him.
I guess. I understand the idea that the Dark Towers aren't the things that are controlling them. It's actually like an antenna. That makes sense. I'll buy that. But
The towers do help, though. Like, they do stop the Digimon
Yeah.
from evolving.
But I maintain, under this theory, the Dark Digivice would do both.
Yeah, well, I think it's like he has those Dark Towers to basically say, this is my territory, so he doesn't have to be in all the places in the digital world.
So, but at the same time, I think that the Digimon are fast enough that if they punch him in the face really hard, it will solve all the problems.
Like, Flamedramon could probably set him on fire.
Like, it's really embarrassing that he beat Gardamon with, like, a whip. It's really embarrassing.
Well, she's a baby.
There's-
She's a child.
There's an opportunity, I believe, in this episode for Gomamon to just win as well, and doesn't.
Because marching fishes?
Well, no, not even that. He just has these big claws.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what the context was, though.
The next Anonymon says, I agree with Jay about the new kids not being represented as characters as well as the old kids. Especially in these filler episodes where the old kids, like Mimi and Joe, have shown up. We have generic interactions with the new kids that only scratch the surface, but you have to remember, it's the beginning of the show and it gets better, just has a slower pace. Give it time and you'll understand that 3 out of the 4 characters, Daisuke being excluded since he's only what you see at the moment.
But the adventure was so slow. Why is this slower?
Well, I think, like, plot-wise, we dive in faster, but I think character-wise, we dive in slower.
Okay, that's lame.
Because in the first, like, I guess in Adventure, you knew more about characters, like, quicker.
Yeah.
Like, but you didn't know much about
You
the
knew them
plot.
all from, like, the beginning.
Yeah, you knew their personalities. Like, this one's sort of like, this is the girl. She is smart. This is...
She can fix computers. That's a really good way to just introduce her.
This is child but mature guy. And this is Taichi guy. And then you sort of, like, I guess the Taichi guy is the easiest one to know about because we already know Taichi. So we sort of say, oh yeah, we know this character type.
Also,
and,
he really likes Kari. Did you know that?
yeah, which I guess Taichi likes Kari too.
Well, it's his sister.
Yeah.
Stay away from my girl.
So the next Anonymon explains that in America you have elementary school, which is pre-K to 5th grade, and ages 3, 4 to 10, 11. Middle school, junior high is 6th to 8th grade, and ages 10, 11 to 13, 14. High school is 9th to 12th grade, and ages 13, 14 to 17, 18. High school years go freshman, 9th, sophomore, 10th, junior, 11th, senior, 12th, just to clear up confusion in regards to the dub ages.
Yeah, screwed up what sophomore was.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, I mean, we just have numbers. Yeah, it's cool like that, I guess. And onto the Gmails.
So Edgar says that on the 6th Ranger Syndrome, it's whenever you have a villain or a rival character who ordinarily mops up the floor without protagonists, then joins the heroes but immediately loses their power and suddenly can't do all the cool things they did when they were evil or antagonists.
That happens in RPGs a lot.
It does.
Like, you befriend, like, the scary, evil, crazy guy, and then, like, magically, scary, evil, crazy guys, like, they'll probably put him a few levels above your characters, but won't be as strong as when you fought him. Like, he won't be broken.
I always thought Vegeta was a good example. Especially because Vegeta would never really apologize. Vegeta was just this evil dude who's like, yeah, okay, I'll just join you. He was never really friends with anybody. But he went from, like, planet-destroying status to nothing. So Gardamon was a strong fighter and had a somewhat interesting character arc, and now the writers struggle to remember her.
I still think she should be Plotmon.
Furthermore, here Edgar sees how it got the ratings that it did. It does move at a quicker pace at the outset. But man, it had many good ideas and most of them are squandered. We're barely 4 episodes in and the premise is already full of holes. Like, how the hell did Tai get in?
Which we explained last episode.
That they could always get in?
Like, the gate had to be opened.
I guess.
But the D3s can...
But the Emperor was already in place and he couldn't get in because he doesn't have a D3.
The Emperor has a D3. That's why he can get in and out all the time.
Yeah, I know, but Tai couldn't.
Yeah, the gate was open and he used his Digivice to get in.
You can't open it without that Digivice.
But it was already open.
Aren't the digital gates in per computer?
No?
Is it just the world is open? That makes no sense. That's not how gates work.
Yeah.
Okay, because that gate over there is open doesn't mean the gate in front of you is open.
Yeah, but he obviously found a computer which had the gate on and was able to get through.
Well, how could he just find a random computer that has the right one on it? That's crazy. That means it's not, doesn't make any sense. I know you've covered it, but I don't buy it, yeah. Neither do I.
Yeah.
The first episode opens with a plot hole that continues to be punched into the script. I find it interesting that you do care somewhat about the legacy of the first show. The show has kind of gotten a worsened reception as time goes on. It has it had good ratings, but reception-wise, the opinions have gone down.
I think it's because when you're 8 and you watch this, you don't look for you don't pay attention to problems. You just say, "Oh, this is a good show." So when you grow up and you remember that show you watched when you were 8, you go, "Hey, I thought that was a good show. It's a good show." And but if you watch it when you're grown up and you find all the problems with the show, that's probably why, opinion-wise, it goes down, even if it was well received when it was first released.
Yeah, I mean, the legacy of the first show is really important because there's continuity, right? It's not the spirit of the thing. The characters are showing up. It's all canon. It's all involved. Oh, I forgot to answer a question before.
What?
Whether I want the O2 characters to show up and try.
Oh, do you?
I mean, the answer is yes, but... Oh, hey, no. The answer is maybe. I haven't finished the show yet. If I finish the show and I still hate Daisuke, I'm going to be really happy if those bits at the beginning are him actually dying. That would be super cool.
Some people do think that they have died.
That'd be awesome. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, we don't know enough. And I guess try spoilers if you haven't watched it, but it's the first 5 minutes. They seem to look exactly the way they do in 02. So it may have been before, it could be several years before Try and after 02, and something has happened to them, and the original children may have their memories wiped, and that's why they can't remember them existing. So it's almost retconned.
Amnesia's great.
Almost retconned. Almost. But I don't know, we might find stuff about that in the second movie. Maybe there's a character on the cover.
So we got an incredibly long email from John Summers, and we will try to get through it reasonably, within a reasonable amount of time. John Summers says that they like the suggestion of making Hikari the leader of the new team. If she was the leader of the season's team, would have been just fine with that. Daisuke was just so annoying and idiotic. Also, Jay, thanks for agreeing with me on the criticism that I brought up in my last... Yeah. However, both of you weren't able to get into all the points I brought... Yeah. We don't have a lot of... we get lots of emails at this point.
And Postmon Pat was an hour and 10 minutes last time. And it was actually longer than that, and I had to edit it down.
Getting a significant portion of the show. Yeah. On the subject of the new team, they explained why they don't like Daisuke, but the other member they're not so thrilled with is Mimyako. Mimyako is... what they don't even know what her character is meant to be, and they're not entirely sure what the writers really knew what they were doing either. From their viewing experience of the season, she changes depending on what the plot needs for her to be, preventing them from finding a grasp on the character, and just leaves John Summers scratching their head. Also, they often hear that she would have been more suited for the digimental of knowledge than love in the fandom, but they don't see it. Knowledge isn't about being smart so much as the pursuit of knowledge. While she did have an interest in computers, did she ever display the thirst for knowledge that Koshiro did? I'm going to jump in at this exact moment and say yes, because she's like, is that a Digimon? I want to see the digital world. I want to do all this stuff.
She's very curious about the digital world in the first episode. She's saying, so what's a Digimon? What's that? I really want to go. I want to see what it's like. What is it like? Tell me what it's like.
She has a perfect opportunity, especially in the way that her outfit shows up, to address knowledge in a different form. It's not so much book knowledge like Koshiro has. The desire to explore and curiosity is its own pursuit of knowledge. One that Koshiro doesn't really have. Koshiro is sit down on a computer, look at stuff, learn stuff.
He's curious in the episode where he wants to find more about the digital world, and that's what causes Tentomon to evolve to Kabuterimon. And in the episode where him and Matt find the crest.
But it's all very cerebral.
Yeah.
Whereas with her, it's very exploratory, and it makes a lot more sense. And she's wearing this helmet and stuff, and it makes a lot of sense that she would want to find knowledge in a kind of different way.
She's exploring, she's adventurous.
And then John Summers goes on to say that Iori is the curious one, asking a million questions, so for him, the Digimon of knowledge is just fine. I don't see him ask that. Does he ask that many questions?
In the English version, he says, this place is so new to me, I have so many unanswered questions.
Yeah, but that's a thing of confusion, not interest.
Yeah, but it's also in the dub.
So, Another thing about O2 that sticks out is its lack of explanations for new elements. They use their Digivices to try and free Kaiser-controlled Digimon without any on-screen explanations as to why... they don't do that.
Yeah.
And they don't explain why they don't. It's true. Which is weird, because Black Gear, Black Ring, you'd think that their first thought would be, okay, well, that thing we did last time, that'll probably work.
I think it might work differently, though.
Oh, it probably wouldn't work, but they don't try.
Yeah, they should try. It probably wouldn't work, but yeah.
Another element is that it's not used... that it's not used to its full potential would be the ability for the Digimon what is this? Oh, Digimon Kaiser to enslave Digimon. Why doesn't the Kaiser make it a priority to get as many partner Digimon under his control as possible? I talked about this today. We'll get to that later. Because that's crazy, I agree. Where are the 4 Holy Beasts? I'm going to cut that right there, because I have no idea. And so far, the only benefit to the existence of the 4 Holy Beasts to Adventure Universe is providing explanation as to why the Dark Masters didn't go to Fire Island soon after the Chosen Children
I
arrived.
agree with that.
We all absolutely agree. And yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
But yeah, there needs to be a reason of why didn't the Dark Masters just murder the children before they could get any stronger?
So, and we've got a final email from SP, and they say that regarding Ken's Digivice, they think it has all the powers due to the dark powers or dark seed, but that a normal D3 does. But a normal D3 does have some special powers, they're just not that strong because the good guys can never be over. You see, that's when May says it's in the script. That's exactly what that means. Yeah. If they can't be this strong because it wouldn't make sense, they'd be overpowered. And of course they would be. But if that's the case, show us why the bad guy's one is stronger, right? Also, he asked me to guess the Kaiser's motives for what he does and why his appearance changes so much. Also, since you also think that Ken is the new Yamato, do you think that Daisuke will accept him when he's... Okay, I'm going to just stop because obviously I'm a bit confused here. I've kind of changed my opinion. Daisuke is the new Yamato. And TK is the new Tai. Because it's just Yamato is the guy who doesn't get along with people and picks fights for no reason. And that's who Daisuke is right now.
But TK's better than Tai.
And also, his motives are that he's got a dark seed in him, so he's evil. When he's just become evil. That's the answer now.
Yeah, that's his motive.
Because, you know what? Control is a motive, but control is only a motive usually to bring order to something. But we've seen Ken be particularly cruel, and he sets up fighting pits and stuff. So the answer is that he was made evil by an outside influence. So there's no explanation beyond that I can imagine at this stage. Was I showing any visual today?
I was going to show you the death battle, but I forgot to send it to you.
Good, glad, missed it. Next time.
Also, there was a potential spoiler that I was considering editing out.
Okay.
But I also have things to show you when we finish, like, turns out Fex-Smith was able to find the 02 Brazilian opening. With the dancing children.
Awesome. Oh, that's great, with all the cosplaying children.
But they've used clips from later on in the series, so we'll be watching that later. But I fully intend to show you that, because it's beautiful. I actually watched it at work, and I almost started crying. It was a masterpiece.
So, quick mid-editing update. We tweeted at Jeff Nimoy on Twitter, asking him why Yoli is called Yoli. And Jeff Nimoy says the producer Terry Lee O'Malley wanted to name her something with Lee in her name, hence Yoli.
So if you want to send us any messages, we have a Gmail, lostintranslationmon@gmail.com. We have a Twitter, a Tumblr, Facebook. We have a discussion thread on With the Will. We usually have a thread on Reddit when I remember. I post the episode, so you can comment on that, upvote it, make sure people see, find out about the podcast. That'd be cool. You can comment on this episode on SoundCloud. You can message us on SoundCloud. And it'd be cool if you reviewed us on iTunes or Stitcher. That'd be pretty sweet.
So, immediately, I see that my guess on Synopsis was wrong, and there's just this silhouette of Iori there. I'm like, I guess it's him this episode. And then that was also kind of wrong.
Yeah, and I'm actually really surprised, you didn't say, oh wait, Reliable, does Joe show up in this? Because we've seen, Matt show up in
Yeah, I just didn't think they'd cash in on the Legacy Chosen Children this quickly.
Yeah.
It's so early to bring them up, and it's really weird, and I'll discuss that a bit later, why it's so weird that they're doing this, especially now. But yeah, so it turns out that Joe showed up, that's why it's there. Gomon grabs a whip at some stage.
Yeah, the Gizamon are going along, and I can never quite work out how I feel about Gizamon. Like, I love them. I think they're kind of cute, but they're kind of creepy.
A little bit.
Like, they're frog dogs.
It's just because they got weird faces. So yeah, Goemon's being whipped and he grabs it, and then he doesn't instantly stab Ken in the face, which is really confusing, because he's got giant claws, and you think he could do it.
But I think he's also tired. Like, he seems like he's been...
But he could solve all the problems, just be slightly less...
You know what else would solve all
power
the problems?
through it.
Why doesn't the Digimon Emperor put on a ring? Like, but does he not like Goemon?
Well, that's the thing,
put a ring on
actually.
it?
Basically, Goemon resists the slave driving and gets beaten up by everyone around. And he put then, who didn't have black rings on them. And then they get black rings put on them, and then they all leave. And Goemon's beaten up, and he's on the ground, and he could have had a black ring on him, and the Digimon Kaiser just leaves. For no reason at all. It's so easy to make this work. It's, you beat him up, and in the process of beating him, he falls off a cliff. And just, like, falls into the snow. And then you lost him because he's white. It would take 5 seconds of animation, and you perfectly explain why he didn't get black ringed. But instead they just walk away, and it's really awkward.
So, we see that Wormmon is calling him Ken, so I guess he's been calling him Ken since, like, the first or second episode, so we know that it's Ken. Did you know that the Digimon Emperor is Ken, by the way?
Did you know? It was really subtle, actually, the first time they showed him. And they showed him at his computer, looking at the glasses.
Yeah.
It's really subtle.
But, yeah, so Wormmon says, oh, Ken, can I give you this jumper? And Ken hits him, and it's just not very nice. And I feel sorry for Wormmon, because he's obviously, like, he loves Ken, and, like, he's known him for a while, and this is a good example of what happens if, like, a chosen child just completely went off the rails and went evil. Like, what would the Digimon do? And the Digimon would stay by their side, and love them no matter what.
Which I actually think, which actually makes no sense considering what happens in this episode with Yori's Digimon being angry at him.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why they got rid of it in the Japanese, in the English version.
It's so weird, where like Wormmon is just like nothing. It's like, okay, even though you're being mean to me, I'll stick around. And this one's like, Armadillomon, and we'll discuss it in a moment, but his whole thing was like, I wasn't your top priority? Well, screw you!
Yeah, basically. So, so Ken whips the Gizamon, and since Goemon rescued him, Ken says that he orders the Gizamon to attack Goemon, and he offers a break to whichever Gizamon takes Goemon down. In the English version, this is just a subtle change, I guess, but he offers a special prize package to the one who takes Goemon down, and everyone else gets a gift. And then he says the gift is your slavery.
That's lame. I wouldn't want to win that.
Also, Goemon's, they do try to make him, like, more sassy and jokey in the English version, because he says, someone ought to whip you.
Well, yeah, but it's so much so that he fights a battle with jokes later.
Yeah, that was awful. So Goemon's injured, and he cuddles the TV and calls out for Joe, and that's kind of cute. Joe's at school with his friends, and his Digivice goes off, and then he exclaims straight away that he has to skip school. And all his friends are like, what?
But he's so reliable.
Well, he's so reliable, he's to a fault.
He's so reliable.
Yeah. Daisuke tells Iori off for going to Kendo because he promised that apparently he promised Daisuke that he would go to the digital world or something.
No, they're all going on a picnic that day. No,
oh,
that's
yeah.
next episode.
Yeah, that's the next episode.
They're meant to go to the digital world, and then, but he needs to go meet his grandfather at the police dojo?
Yeah.
They have a police dojo?
Yeah.
Do the Japanese police sword fight criminals?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That would be awesome!
Yeah, because I'm not sure if we know this yet, but
Back alley katana fights.
Yori's dad was a police officer.
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Well,
I thought the grandfather was.
I think the grandfather was at one point, but now he's
Well,
not.
makes sense.
Yeah, but the dad was, and that's how he died.
Yeah. Then Daisuke finds Kari on the stairs.
And he's thirsty.
It says a lot of weird stuff, like fully out loud. Everything, stuff that you'd only say in your head. Like, oh man, I'm really looking forward to be all alone with Kari in the really dangerous digital world. I'll be her hero. And then just saying it all to her face. And she's like, well, that was really weird, but I'll go. And then he's like, yeah, awesome, and blushes like a crazy person. And then goes inside and sees TK, and it's hilarious. I told May this the other day, but the worst thing in the show is always followed by the best thing in the show. The worst thing is Daisuke being a huge weirdo around Kari, and then the best thing is his immediate shutdown as he sees TK being just normal.
Yeah. So then we see that the region of the digital world they have, the little map, is a part of it's flashing. Then Upmon wants Iori to come, but Daisuke is told that he has to go to Kendo. So Upmon says, "What's Kendo?" So Daisuke starts hitting him. I thought that was really cute.
Doctor.
That was, but obviously they don't say that. So Japanese words in the English version, it just says ha 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 because localization.
Beat him in the face.
Yeah. But I think that was really cute. So then we see Iori is at kendo practice with his grandfather, and he's thinking of Upamon, so he gets he's unable to block the attack from his grandfather, and then his grandfather stops and he says, "You're lacking focus. Is there a girl that you like?" But in the English version, he's just
and he already bursts out laughing. It's like, ha! No.
The only girl I know is Mimyako. And she's in love with Mimi. Well,
She doesn't know that yet.
They're destined for each other. So, but in the English version, the grandfather is just wondering if Cody's lost interest in martial arts and no longer wants to hang out with his grandfather. And then the grandfather says, "Let's take a break and have some choo-choo," which is like jelly fruit juice. Yeah, it's prune juice in the English version. And he's like, "There's nothing that prune juice can't fix." And then Iori goes to help his friends.
My car once ran out of petrol, and I was like, "Oh, thank God, prune juice fixed this problem."
And you poured some prune juice into your car and it blew up.
No, it was fine. It just grew wrinkles for some reason. That was weird.
So then they hear someone coming, and they're like, "Oh, quick, that's not Iori." So they try to hide, but it's just Joe. When they see that, they're all like, "Oh, that's Joe." And then Miyako says that he looks like the type to get good grades. And
the little wing ball is really unhappy to see him.
Yeah, because he was hoping it was Iori. But in the English version, Yoli asks him if he can have a look at her tonsils, because for some reason he's a doctor even though he's 16. They all seem to be under the impression that he's actually a doctor.
No, just Yoli.
No, because Daisuke says, "Wow, a doctor."
Oh, right, yeah.
Well, Davis says, "Wow, a doctor." So then Demi-Vemon wants to eat whatever Joe has in the bag. Which
Candy!
Heat packs, I think.
Candy! Oh, this is really funny. I don't have the notes for this later, I'll mention it now. The heat packs, when they go to use them, in English, Yoli's like, "I can't get it open." You're not meant to. Stop. You'll kill everyone.
So Iori's arrives, and Upamon's very angry, and he's sort of jumping around and says, I was about to go to the digital world without you. I don't need you.
He was only a minute late, all things considered.
They were only just about to go. So, but they changed this to instead of him jumping up and down in anger, he's jumping up and down and being hyperactive and saying, "You made it, over and over again." And Cody apologizes for Upamon instead of introducing himself to Joe.
And this begins I don't think we need to mention it every time, but this begins every time Oop/Armadillomon is angry at Iori in any way, it is completely snowed under in English and completely ignored.
I don't know why they did that. It's very like the Biyomon Gets Firepower episode where they try to remove they don't want to have conflict between the Digimon and the child.
It's exactly like that. And so, in this case, there's at least one or two really weird moments when Armadillomon has this really sour look on his face. He's angry, but his voice has nothing, is in no way similar.
Yeah, they make him emotional or something.
Just completely different.
Then the clip from our opening plays in the Japanese version, and they just changed it to a very energetic "Let's Go," which I think is not as exciting as Chosen Children Let's Roll.
It's also, but that would be a really weird thing for her to yell. It is already a really weird thing for her to yell, but it makes more sense in Japanese. Shoots toe.
Shoots toe. I'm gonna shoot my toe. Then when they go to the digital world, Iori's still trying to introduce himself, and then Joe gives everyone's hand warmers, and then I think it's Tekuru says, "As expected from Joe, always prepared." And then in the English version, Joe says that he learns it from watching so many survival shows, which doesn't sound in character.
No, it doesn't. That's not what Mimi would watch. Because she has her giant bag full of tools she stole from her dad.
Yeah. So Miyako drops her heat pack because Yoli can't get it open or something.
She's trying to open it, yeah.
And it reveals that Goemon's they've been standing on top of Goemon effectively.
Also, he didn't fall asleep in a forest. I think they're in a forest when they come out.
They're in a snowy forest.
Yeah, but he fell asleep in a wasteland. The trees all grew up there in the 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
In the script.
Yeah.
In the scenery script. The storyboard. There we are.
Well,
so Tentomon told Goemon says, "Oh yeah, I knew you'd come. Tentomon told me that if we needed to contact our partners, we could through the TV." And Armadillomon says that, Iori would never come for me if I called. And
it's a dick.
Yeah, so in English version they changed this to him saying, "Oh, I always get misty-eyed at happy reunions. I think I'm gonna cry."
He's weird and southern. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. You have to do the southern accent if you do MetalMamemon's voice.
Oh my.
Oh my
Get the
gosh.
vapors.
But yeah, they make it very, I don't know, they remove the fact that there's any conflict between the child and the partner, which, guess what, is interesting to see that there's conflict between a child and the partner, because they've just been told, this is your partner for life, and of course you'd have conflict with this thing that you've just met. Like, you don't know them very well, but they're not meant to be like, best buds forever straight away.
And then I'm pretty sure, and that's only after they falls in the water. So they make a sled.
Yeah?
And this is when Big Buzzsaw is actually feathers from his head.
Yeah.
Thrown. Good job.
Did you notice that the English version plays really unfitting music?
Constantly.
It plays, no, sometimes the music is pretty spot on, but they play the exact same background music, which is played when Wargreymon and Metal Garurumon joggress to be Omegamon, Omnimon, I guess, because the English version, it's that it's like really heroic music. I think it's called Heroic Theme. But they're just building a sled.
It's a really heroic sled.
So it's just so unfitting because it should be like this wonderful moment when, a big evolution's happening that's going to save the day, but
we made a sled!
It's so anticlimactic. Oh my gosh. So the child Digimon are pulling the sled, and I don't know why they don't just get Wholesamon, Pegasusmon, and a Fertimon to do it, because I think that would be a lot better.
I think because evolutions only last so long and you can't ride them.
Hmm.
So in the distance they see Frigimons, many Frigimans, and you get this weird moment, and I kind of realize it now because it's the Tyrannomons in the previous episode.
Uh-huh.
And who were they fighting the one before that?
The one before that. No, Tyrannomon's on the previous episode. They're fighting in the previous episode. It's a Vegemon episode.
There's a bunch of Vegemon. So here's what I'm noticing about this season.
Before Tyrannomon's Monochromon.
There was also many Monochromon.
Yeah, but we've met previous ones.
The weird trend you're getting in the season is that you bring back the fights that the kids had in the first season, and then you just multiply the number of threats there are.
It's to show that they're weaker.
But it's more like they don't want to come up with new Digimon, and so it feels uncreative more than anything.
We met a new Digimon in this episode. A Patron, the shrimp.
Yeah, we did.
But
that was like after the main fight, which was the one-on-one fights are fine, but you get this weird thing with look at all these Frigimon, look at all these Tyrannomon, look at all these Monochromon, and it just feels really copy and paste and unnecessary. You could just have the one of them, but I don't know, you end up with weird stuff. So they're riding their sled along, and it's Joe who comes up with the heroic plan to just go straight past them, because he totally reasons it out that stopping the fight them won't work out, but if he goes past, that'll work. And then I just have Daisuke is really stupid in my notes, but that's not amazingly helpful. But basically, they get past them, and they almost get hit by an avalanche, because good times, and then they almost go into a river, and Iori drops into the river, and so he dies.
Yeah.
Well, he should die, but he's instantly fished out.
And he comes down with a cold, so Joe gives him cold medicine, but in the dub this is changed to tea, which is surprising.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So they're sitting around a fire so that he doesn't die.
Yeah, I guess maybe they're trying to downplay what he has. This tea will warm you up, as opposed to this cold medicine will, it seems
tea would do more than cold medicine in this situation. So, basically, he just says that, he goes, oh man, I missed Kendo practice, and then instantly Armadillomon just forgives him. He's concerned for his health, and he goes, oh, you missed it. I'm not a last priority. And he's like, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah, no, he apologizes. He says, oh, I didn't realise that you actually ditched what you had to be with us. But they just changed this in the dub to him just saying, oh, I'm concerned about you. You should go to sleep.
It's so weird, though, because there's a character arc going on here in Japanese, and it lasts 4 lines over the course of the episode. It goes for 2 minutes, and they're on the silhouette of the episode.
Yeah.
It's so strange. Then Shellmon shows up. I think I'm missing stuff in the middle.
No, they go outside, and then Shellmon shows up, and Ken's with him.
Yeah, exactly. This is a situation where you go, why don't they punch him in the face? Oh no, the other kids leave.
Yeah,
to be on the
other
tower.
kids have left.
So Armadillomon, now trusting him, it digivolves and leaps on top of, and Shellmon shoots water at Iori. I'm like, whoa, they're actually trying to kill him. Good job.
Yeah.
I always like when villains.
No, but
do
first we
make
have Joe having the plan of Gomon distracting Shellmon so he can let the kids destroy the tower,
right?
So he can evolve and be Ikakumon because Ikakumon's strong. But instead of this, it's I guess it's sort of similar.
Gomamon! Now I know the reason we were supposed to stay behind, so the others can have the time to destroy the spire. I need you to create a diversion. Keep him busy with some of that great Gomamon charm of yours.
Gotcha. Why did one Shellmon take the other Shellmon's lunch? Because it was shellfish. I guess you heard that one already. Oh.
That's the great Gomamon charm?
And then Joe authorizes the use of deadly force via knock-knock joke.
Joe is just hoping the others can destroy the tower instead of just saying, that's your great Gomamon charm. And also, so we go to the other kids, and how forced does Digiarmor Energize sound?
It does. It sounds really dumb.
Like, they're trying to fit the words to the mouth movements.
It's garbage. You say it all the time, and you say it better.
It just sounds really cool to scream. It makes me feel happy.
It's really stupid, though.
Digiarmor Energize!
No one says it like that, though. They're like,
Hikari does.
Energize!
No, Hikari does.
Maybe.
But have you noticed that Hikari...
Crap, though.
I read this great theory, and this is someone's proof that TK and Kari are canon. They both smile when they say Digiarmor Energize.
What? How is that related?
They both smile.
Well, what's the relation to that? How are they involved?
It's something I read once. I'm not denying that they're not.
I really want to know what the
anything,
reasoning of that was. You look at them smile.
No, they both have this Digiarmor Energize with a big smile, and that's it.
That means there's romance.
Yeah, I mean, there's better evidence of why they're in a relationship, but that's not.
He likes sushi. She likes sushi. He eats cereal with a spoon. She eats cereal with a spoon.
They probably both like chocolate-covered rice balls.
He has once been out in the sun. She knows of the sun. Total romance.
So we see Flamedramon attacking, and this is after he's evolved. So he's already said Flamedramon, the fire of courage. So he labels his attack as Flamedramon, the fire of courage. Did you notice that?
I didn't.
Because he's attacking the instead of saying fire rocket, he says Flamedramon, the fire of courage. I'm gonna keep on saying that. I found the voice I can do. I can't do it, obviously.
The wings of smiles.
Nefertimon, the angel of light.
No, it's the wind. It was the
Pegasusmon, flying hope.
The wings.
Halcymon, the wings of love. Digmon, the drill of power. Has he said drill of knowledge yet?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm assuming he hasn't said drill of
Oh,
knowledge
that'd
yet.
be the best crest ever. The crest of power. Yeah.
That's your crest. Then.
That'd be so cool.
So yeah, then we get up to the bit where Digmon protects Iori, and then Wormmon watches with anime googly eyes, like he's like, oh, I wish I could be strong and protect my Ken.
It totally marks out.
Yeah, it's so cute. So Digmon has other arms. I'm not sure because he has the big drill arms, which he's holding Iori with, and then he has these little center arms, and they're just sort of in the middle of his body doing nothing, just hanging there. And I love it so much. I've never noticed he had inner arms. What does he use them for? Just drill. No, they're not the drill arms though.
They can drill though.
No, they're just little paws.
Oh, maybe he uses the hold stuff.
It's
He can
I
hug
never
Iori
realized.
with them.
But he's hugging them with the drills.
He could hug him twice.
So then Abidramon shows up. Abidramon, yes, and he shows up somehow. He goes through the snow, even though he's a prawn, and he goes to the water eventually though.
Well, he grabs.
But why is he under the snow?
He grabs the armadillo and pulls him into the water. And it's this interesting parallel between Iori falling in the water and the armadillo falling into the water, but they don't really comment on it. And it's not really mentioned or in any way kind of reacted to that way, so I think I might have been reading too far into it.
But then the tower is destroyed and Gomamon is able to evolve.
They're like stanzas. They rhyme.
So after big battle happens, Goemon's back to Goemon again, and he says he'll protect the area. But in the English version, he doesn't seem too keen to protect this area. And
It's like, oh yeah, snowy wasteland. What I wanted.
And but then Joe says that, oh, well, you can always use this time to practice your jokes. Fantastic.
What an ass.
Iori is told that he's part Izzy, part Joe in both versions. And then Joe says, my Digimental might show up. If it does, I'll be back. And then at the end, they're all talking about how Iori's mum makes great Ohagi. They say, yeah, I want to have Iori's mum's Ohagi. Yeah, me too. But this has changed to because a woman can't be in the plot at all. They all said they want to meet Iori's grandfather.
There's but about the Ohagi specifically, was it Kari says she wants to go, and Daisuke's like, I'll go with you, and she's like, I don't know about that. You already have a partner, it's Vemon. He's like, nah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
He just throws Vemon under the bus. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, you gotta feel sorry for Vemon.
It's so lame.
So, what did you think of this episode as someone who was new to Digimon?
I feel the same way. Well, not exactly the same. I feel a muted way I did about Beermon Gets Firepower. Where this is definitely not the best episode of the season, but at least had something going on, and then they just muted it entirely, which focused more on Joe.
But it didn't kill it too much. Like, they didn't completely...
There's nothing to kill.
Because it was only a slight side bit. It wasn't as important as Beermon Gets Firepower, because that was the point of the episode.
It's kind of the only reason that they were on the front, that they were the silhouette. Yeah, they had slightly more fighting to do, but rather than nothing happening, at least it was something.
Also, it was about, like, their friendship. Like, they have a fun friendship.
Primarily, it was a Joe episode, which I shouldn't complain about. Gomon was in it. He's great.
Yeah, I love Gomon.
I have a lot of stuff to say about that, but because the episode is very similar to the next one in that structure, I'm going to discuss it then.
Cool. So what did you think when you compare it to what you thought about it in Obnoxious Synopsis?
I was wrong.
I have to come up with a much better way of saying that, because I always get tongue-tied. But, so...
Harry pocketed it.
Harry pocketed it. Frick.
Yeah, I was wrong. I'm going to leave it right there, because I don't even want to bother looking at what I said. I know I was way wrong. It was Joe the whole time.
Yeah, so I have all these notes about how you said it was like reliability wormmon. Like he uses that to evolve to what was the word? Metal butterfly or something?
That'd be sweet. No, but I was really wrong. Let's just move on.
And you literally said no idea who could be reliable.
I'm shrugging. It doesn't come across on the radio, but it's happening.
So some point they'll defeat the Dark Tower? You're right about that.
You know, that one's hard to guess.
So
it's literally in the name.
Yeah, so you said it was a big setup episode. 6 out of 10. Don't see it going anywhere. Filler.
It is filler. No setup. Nothing.
6 out of 10?
5 at most.
5? Oh.
5 at most.
Really? But you said this episode was decent.
Yeah.
You sent me a message saying
do you know what's decent? A 5.
Really?
Bad is a 4. Decent is the middle. I was wrong about the rating on the next one too, but we'll get there.
What differences did you notice, and do you think they were justified?
Okay, well, they took out the big character arc, and I didn't like that.
That was not justified in any way.
Davis is studying French now.
I thought that was in the next episode.
No, that's this one. He was talking to Kari and embarrassing himself.
Oh, I swear that was the next
and
episode.
He's like, parlez-vous?
Oh, I thought...
Episode 5, so I know.
Oh, yeah, okay, good point. I just knew he's dumb in both episodes.
There's this really weird moment with Joe when he walks into the computer room and sees them all, and he's like, it's really strange seeing Digimon in the real world.
Oh my gosh, does he?
He does say that.
Oh,
and he's like,
I missed that.
It's almost like there wasn't a whole arc in the real world full of them. Let's see. Big Buzzsaw, don't worry about that. Got rid of the armadillo thing. Yeah, and then just Gomon's jokes as his primary form of attack.
Does Gomon ever make jokes in the original?
Probably at times. Like, give me a hand, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but he always says, when you say hand...
Yeah, but, like, it's more subdued jokes.
Yeah. He's still funny, but, like, he's not, like...
He's not failed comedian.
Yeah. He's a successful comedian.
It's mostly, in this episode particularly, it's mostly that they took stuff out.
Mm.
And it was unnecessary for them to take it out, but they did it anyway. They took out the 4 lines, god damn it.
A plane touches down, and Mimi's Season 1 character song is playing in the background. And who could this possibly be?
It's someone with really stupid hair.
So, there's just sort of like silence and like airport noises. But in the dub...
Attention passengers, East meets West Airlines welcomes you to Tokyo. Again, we apologize for the pilot stepping out for popcorn during the in-flight movie.
Will the owner of the gray 747 parked outside the window please report to the cockpit? Your lights are on.
That first one is meant to be kind of funny, because like, oh, who's flying the plane? But there's a thing called a co-pilot, so he could totally do that. There's nothing wrong with the pilot going to get popcorn.
Yeah.
The second one was kind of funny. I like that.
But I don't know why they had to add it. Like, there was just no...
There was silence, May. You know what we do with silence? We kill them.
So Mimi says that she hasn't been to Japan in so long, so she changes the time on her Digivice, and she's sleepy. And it just meant she seemed to talk a lot more in English.
Yeah, she's like, there we go, I fixed the time.
So I guess it's because you don't really see her mouth move, you just sort of see her silhouette and like holding her Digivice and stuff, so I guess they
can fill as much space as they want.
So Upamon is wandering around Yori's house on his own because his mum is making Kanpyomaki? No, it's different.
I don't know, it looks the same.
It's not sushi, it's different from sushi. It was sushi that say sushi. It's like,
sushi.
I think it... some people can't say sushi and it annoys me. I think for memory, it's rice wrapped in seaweed, and there's something else, but I think it's like a vegetable. It's not fish.
There's a brown thing in it.
Yeah, but it's not fish.
Okay.
But they say, even though in the dub they say it's fish, because I guess sushi is, like, the viewers will probably know what sushi is, I guess. So Hikari's humming Breakup while she's packing her bag, which is the Evolution song, and that's a really cute little addition.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So, and then there's another bit that I get a bonus of for knowing the Digimon music, and when Miyako's getting food from the convenience store, Tekeru's Season 1 character song is playing.
Which is odd.
I like it, though.
So yeah, all the kids are kind of preparing to go on this picnic, and Kari just jams Cardamon into a bag.
And so does TK.
No, actually, no, it's not. I think they're very different. Whereas where she jams the cat into a bag, first of all, we've established that Cardamon can act convincingly like a normal cat, and does not need to be stuffed into a bag.
Yeah.
Second, in Japanese, TK says, "Oh, I forgot my bag." Goes outside, gets his bag, and Patamon has stowed away in it. I think.
No, I don't think it's stowed away. I think that TK just forgot that Patamon was there.
Well, either way, he didn't do it intentionally. Whereas in English, he goes, "Oh man, I gotta go get Patamon," and he goes out, and Patamon's struggling. It's like, "Oh, there's gym socks in here. Oh god." Oh god!
So obviously the food that Miyako is getting is localized to things like what Americans would bring to picnics. So
no, but it's not, because it's joke about
food,
salad.
Like salads and mac and cheese and stuff like that.
No, I thought it was just salad. She was like potato salad, fruit salad, chocolate salad. That it was all salads.
But I'm pretty sure she said mac and cheese at one point.
Maybe right at the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think so. Like 3-bean salad and mac and cheese.
It's only 2-bean salad, sweetie. Sorry, I ran out of the third bean.
No, that's in the movie.
That's in English. That happened.
Oh what? Oh what?
Yeah.
I thought that was just something the mum said because she couldn't cook.
The mum said it in this one.
Oh what?
I remember it. I watched it today.
But Ty's mum's not in
I
this.
watched it today.
Oh okay.
I can show you right now.
So Miyako says that she's late because she stopped at the drinking fountain to give Poromon a bath. That was cute, I guess. So they're sneaking into the school because it's a school holiday, Golden Week.
Whereas in English, it's just Saturday.
Yeah, it's just Saturday. But a school bell still goes off.
Yeah, it was really weird. It's like, there's no school today. Pring!
I guess it was meant to be a joke.
No, it was just they thought, okay, this is a school setting. And then, obviously, the sound designer and the guy doing the voices were just different.
So Miyako and Iori are talking, and Daisuke tells them to be quiet because they're meant to be sneaking. But, so Miyako's, saying it's dumb to crouch because nobody is there, and Iori doesn't need to crouch. And I think that's really
short.
cute.
That was a good line. I like
And
that.
Davis says, instead of Davis yelling at them for talking, Davis says that he's the best for getting them all in. And they're just saying, yeah, sure, instead of apologising. So I don't know why they had to do that.
You did a good
I guess
job.
they made him smugger. So Daisuke tells Miyako to call them in. But this is Miyako saying, oh yeah, am I the best or what for getting you guys in? So I'm just, why? Why do we have two characters who feel the need to say that? So then Mimi shows up, and everybody but Takeru and Hikari are freaking out. Miyako still has her hand in the air, and for some reason Mimi gets a Digimon Analyzer?
Yeah, that was really weird. Did Joe?
No.
So, here's the thing. First of all,
Is she a Digimon?
I asked her at the time, and it does explain it later, but she also randomly broke in, which is a bit weird. But because she says that she had nostalgia, she went to her primary school, whatever. But then she went to the computer lab. There's no reason for her to go to the computer lab.
She probably heard voices because, Miyako was shouting.
Yeah, oh, that maybe. Okay.
If you heard voices, you would probably investigate.
I guess. That requires ridiculous timing, but I guess it was in the script.
Yeah. So she's here for her cousin's wedding, which is tomorrow, and I don't believe she's given a reason for being there in the English version.
No, I don't think she does.
No.
It's okay. I'm sure her cousin's not really in her family anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. She has
She has a brother and a dog.
Yeah, she has a brother, a dog, and a sister, I think. No, a cat. No, a brother, a sister, and a cat.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mimi comes to the digital world too, and Miyako's just really excited because Mimi's coming too because she's in love. The bags become digital in Here We Go as well. Did you notice that they added the bags? It was so cute.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't notice.
They added the bags to the sequence when they go to the digital
I
world.
think I just assumed it was stock footage and just
No.
my eyes blurred out.
No, because sometimes they change clothes and they'll change into the same digital clothes. So Mimi straight away is like, oh, I hope I get to see Palmon. And
for some reason in English, Palmon's like, hiya, in her memory.
Yeah, and then instead of just saying Mimi, I think that was what she said in the Japanese version. So Mimi is offered tuna mayo onigiri, and she starts crying because she's missed it so much, and she thanks Miyako. But it's a chocolate-covered rice ball.
Chocolate-covered rice ball.
Why?
Because it's brown. And maybe it's a joke about her having bad taste.
But Miyako seems to like it too.
It's just the weirdest thing because, you get your Pokemon donuts, jelly donuts, or whatever the hell this is.
I'm so glad that I found that again, but I'm probably going to put in the show notes again because it's the best thing ever. I was like, wait, you get pizza? While I have whatever it is that I'm holding?
Wait, you get pizza, and all I get is the crusts!
Oh, don't. No, thank you. No, thank you. So Armadillomon throws some sushi. Well, I guess it's yeah. Can't talk today. Kapiomaki, I think it is.
Oh, we totally forgot something.
What?
In Japanese, we kind of established that Yoli can just take stuff from the convenience store because that's totally fine.
And she
in English, she totally steals for it. She just steals it.
Yeah, oh yeah, and her mum is like, "Are you gonna pay for that? See you later."
No, it's. Well, let's talk about that. Bye.
Yeah. So they run. So Pokemon and Miyako run after it's the California roll that's running away.
rolling back to California.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm like, well done. Some people got paid to write that.
GG. So Mimi follows them and she falls down a hole.
Okay.
Yeah?
I don't understand. Does she actually fall into anything?
I thought she tripped into down like a cliff.
Okay, no, so the
ledge.
ground sinks in like it's a trap.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up and Yoli and Hawkmon are there, and they're waking her up, and she gets up and this is the sky. So did she fall into a hole, or did she fall through time?
Oh.
Because I don't think they ever established that she goes back to the daytime.
I think it was like a ledge. No, I think it was a ledge.
No, I swear the ground gives out.
Yeah, it's probably ledges can give out.
But I think it was in the middle of a forest.
Yeah, there could be ledges in a forest.
I didn't watch it again, but I think it looks like a trap, and then it's
never
addressed.
I like this episode. So
I just want to see that bit again, because I swear I watched it twice now.
So then we see Otamon and Gekomon, and Mimi is upset that they're evil.
It doesn't make any sense in English, because they're yelling Princess Mimi, which they wouldn't yell if they were evil.
And also, she told them so many times to, and they in the Japanese version, they stopped. As soon as she said, "Please don't call me Princess Mimi," they stopped. But in the English version, they've always continued to call her Princess Mimi.
And you know what? That would even be kind of fine in this episode if they were saying it in a mocking way. But to trick the audience, they were saying it in an excited way.
And also, Mimi, instead of being upset, they made her sort of like, "Oh, don't worry, they're my friends."
Yeah. You'd be like, please, guys, we've been over this so many times.
So Miyako, I guess, wants Mimi to be the sister because she says, "Oh, Mimi one-sama." And this is changed in the English version to, because I guess you can't just say, "Oh, sister," because I guess it's something you don't really say. So in the English version, Yoli says, "If these are her friends, I'd hate to see her enemies." And then Palmon to the rescue!
No, yeah, tentacles happen and it becomes uncomfortably Japanese for a moment.
No, but then Mimi in both versions says, "Palmon?" And it's so cute. Oh, it makes me so happy. And then, this is really cute because, they cry and embrace straight away. Because, they didn't get a proper goodbye, though.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, because Palmon was hiding.
And this is what I wanted from Try, and I never got it from Try. They all the kids, Digimon just kind of show up and everyone's back to business, nothing changed.
Mm.
So, and Joe and Gomon didn't get a big thing.
No, that they got the biggest thing besides Ty. They got the second biggest.
This is the biggest, isn't it?
What?
Isn't this the biggest?
In Try.
No, not in Try. I'm talking about this.
Oh, overall, yeah. This is. But anyway, we shouldn't talk about Try.
No, we shouldn't.
Because we did in our episode.
They are good.
And it's really cute. But yeah, this is basically they didn't have a proper goodbye to each other. So they're having a goodbye but also a hello, and it's really cute. And I really liked it. So Palma says, "Oh, you came to see me." And he says, "I came for a picnic." And then it's awkward, so they let go. But this has changed to Palmon's vines being stuck in Mimi's hair and being tangled.
This is another situation, I think. It's just straight up, they do not like conflict between the kids and the Digimon. They just, in any instance, they have to get rid of it.
So Palmon says, "Oh, you have to do something." So, and this is a really cute line. It's probably not significant in any way, but I think it's cute. Mimi says, "Well, Mimi-sama will destroy the Dark Tower and save the Otamamon and Gekomon." And I really like that.
Yeah, she's just got a lot of confidence in her. And which is weird.
But she calls herself Mimi Summer, which is kind of you don't give
Lord Mimi.
Yeah, you don't call yourself that. You only do it you're up yourself.
No, it's funny because it's overconfidence to make up for the picnic thing.
I think she also might be doing it in a
sarcastic.
Yeah, I don't think she actually means that because I don't think she's this vain, conceited girl anymore. I think she's mainly saying sarcastically, but she also will do it.
Makes no sense because she can't personally do it. She'd get Palmon to do it.
Yeah.
In fact, it's so weird that Palmon would need rescuing because she's the one who does all the fighting.
So we find out that Ken is able to block the D3 signal so they can't contact each other and locate each other. And well, it's because of the Dark Tower. So Gokimon show up. And I had to do some research of why it's called Gokimon, but it's derived from Goki Buri, which means cockroach. And in the English version it's called Roachmon, which I 100% understand why that's changed. Like, sometimes they make a change. It's like, yeah, to be fair, that... Because kids say, what's a Goki?
Did you know
a Goki.
Goki. Did you know that every Digimon wants to date Mimi?
Yep.
Like, so do these cockroaches.
Yep, we've established that everyone wants her.
No, just Digimon.
And, I guess, Izzy and Try.
And so basically, these are the Gokimon brothers, and which begs the question, how can they be brothers?
Eggs laid by the same Digiman?
Eggs aren't laid, they fall from the
I don't
sky.
know. I guess from the same portion of the sky, then.
That cloud is my dad.
So, Mimi and Mimyako are disgusted by them, and the
They should
Rokimon,
be.
yeah, the Rokimon have their feelings hurt, and we notice that the Rokimon are really polite to each other, and they
Or they speak simultaneously.
yeah, so they say you get along well. We're brothers, don't you understand? And then Miyako or Mimi says, because I say this a few times, I don't. And then this has changed to the brothers arguing. Like, they made them fight instead. So then they throw rubbish at the girls.
Well, no,
We need to talk about this.
Well,
Mimi,
it's about the rubbish.
yeah, but Mimi says, this is a designable house! So welcome back, Mumu.
Yeah, Moo, we missed you
you
so
so
much.
much.
You were such gold for our show. So there's a really good joke. Like, it's a subtle one, but in English, where the Gokimon's ability is called Dream Dust. And you're like, well, what does that mean? And the food they use it, they just throw in garbage.
Yeah.
And it's this cute little thing. And I was like, yeah, yard sale bombs and garbage stream or something. It's like, oh, you took a joke that was funny and just got rid of it.
Yep.
Good job.
So I'm not sure how the dark rings are attached to the Gokimon.
Aren't they just around their arms?
No, they're on their antennas.
Oh, well, that's how it's
Just
attached.
hanging on. No, but like only half the ring looks like it's attached.
You can't attach half a ring.
No, but like it's like rested like that.
So it's like hanging.
Yeah, it's hanging. That's the word.
It's still surrounding it.
But it would fall off with them flying.
No, because they never put their heads down.
I don't know. But then Miyako wants Mimi to be close, and they want to be sisters, so Miyako is fantasizing. But I think they tried to make this more familial, like make them more sistery. But it seems even more homoerotic in the English version because they're saying, "Oh, you're beautiful. No, you're beautiful." I'm like, yay, lesbians.
It's pretty gay.
I love it. I love them so much. So good. I love it. They're my babies.
So they just start fighting them, and Mimi has this plan to throw the cockroaches at the tower and make them destroy it because they're strong enough.
It just means that they downplay the fact that she had an idea in the English version.
They did a little bit because she makes like a pun, which they don't really explain.
Yeah.
Where it's like they don't seem very bright, and then she shines a light on them.
Yeah.
And this is when I'm going to talk about Joe and Mimi
being useful.
Not just being useful, but the situation is basically totally solved by the older kids.
Mm.
What you could show here is like a mentoring role and them being encouraging to the new kids, but what's actually happening is that the older kids are just better. They show that the new kids are terrible at their jobs. The older kids solve the problems and are really good at this, and the show feels like it's wasting our time with these new kids because the old ones are so good.
Mm. Well,
Mimi would have won this fight without Miyako around, I think.
But I think they also kind of want to show that these new kids are inexperienced. Like, Mimi and Joe, they can just solve problems straight away because they've done this before, they're experienced, but the new kids aren't.
But they're
also,
not...
shouldn't TK and Kari be super experienced?
And they should be, but they're not showcasing that. They're taking the focus totally on the old kids, which is great for me. I love them.
They should be mentoring the new kids more.
Yeah, absolutely, and they just don't. They show up, they solve a problem, and they leave.
So when Wholesamon shows up, Mimi says, "Miyako-chan, you look really cool." But this has changed to, of course, Mumu, being in the show, says, "Oh, Armor Digivolution's so fashionable." Like, why?
It's not, though. Also...
I guess she thinks it's like accessorizing.
The rest of the kids show up, and since they were totally useless, and you could maybe infer that with them around they would have won, it's basically saying that Mimi is as effective as four of the other kids combined.
Yeah, because she's got all that experience.
It was weird because TK and Kari are there.
Yeah.
And both of them were arguably stronger than her.
I know, but Mimi's better. So Ken's like really disappointed that his territory shrunk, and he says, this is a terrible golden week.
He just stops off like a little stupid kid. Like, oh, what a villain. He's a little whiny baby.
So yeah, plot twist, the Gokemon actually hate each other usually, and they eat each other's food.
I thought that was really cute. This like irony of that the black rings actually made them get along.
And Miyako and Mimi sort of exchange glances and say, were they better before? Like, were they better with the dark rings on them?
We're better off leaving them being evil.
Yeah. So Togemon is happy to guard this area. And then when they go back to the real world, Miyako says that meeting Mimi was very fun. And this has changed to, like, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. And I think that's just fine. It's a fine change. I don't understand why, but it's still cute.
I forgot actually, when they're looking at in English, at the cockroaches, like, arguing, they're like, this is why it's better to have only one kid. Or in fact, maybe zero.
Yeah.
Which, I'm thinking, Saturday morning, parents are sitting down with their kids to watch these cartoons with them. And the character looks through the screen at them and says, having kids was a mistake.
And that's why Mum ran away.
Oh, that's why Dad went to get cigarettes, never came back. Did you see the tweet? And it was the Konami situation. At Konami, they say that Kojima has just gone out to get a pack of cigarettes.
Aww. So yeah, Mimi says bingo in reply to what Miyako says, and Mumu says perfecto, which is what Yoli says. So that's cute. Like, but that's only a change because that's just what she says, and I think that bit's cute, and I'm glad they kept it.
Miyako Italiano.
So they show a plane, but I'm pretty sure this isn't her plane because she's still.
No, yeah, she's still there.
Yeah, she's still there. Like, the wedding is tomorrow that she's going to.
I thought she left.
No, she super doesn't leave. I don't know why they show a plane.
There are tons of planes flying right over that school, by the way.
Yeah, must be under a flight path. But yeah, they show it almost implying that she goes home, and I guess in the English version, because she's not given a reason for being there, it seems to be edited more to imply that is her plane.
No, to imply that she's about to leave.
Yeah, which she's not. The wedding is tomorrow that she's going to. She's just not going to bail on the wedding unless she wants to, but that wouldn't really be sincere, would it?
Why is her hair so silly?
So, what did you think of this episode as someone who was new to Digimon?
This was much better than the previous one. I think because they didn't get rid of anything, also because the interaction between Mimi and Palmon is really nice. It's what I want. I want the kids to seem like they miss them. Joe was like, hey, Gomon. He was like, hey, Joe. Cool. And that was it.
No, Gabumon and Matt hugged each other. That was cute.
Yeah. Still, it wasn't a big deal.
But Mimi...
Matt has no character.
But Mimi also did not have a goodbye.
Yeah, they had
They had a scream through a tram window. They didn't have, 5 minutes where they were just sitting with each other talking about their feelings.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting. But then, let's see, the primary conflict of the episode was this fight with the cockroaches, and it's something I really like is that it's really toned down. The fighting isn't really a big deal, and what solves the problem is not being stronger than them. It's coming up with a plan, and it showed the characters are intelligent. It let us see into some of Yoli's motivation, even though it's kind of confusing and gay.
Mm-hmm. But they're in love.
I appreciate the premise that the kids, and I think they mentioned it, Mimi mentions it, I think, that they never had picnics back in the day. They would never have thought to go to the digital world that way.
I forgot that bit.
Because to them, it was all danger. And this sort of shows a different perspective on what the digital world represents. And I thought that was really interesting.
I think we had an Anonymon last week who said, the new kids have it so much easier because they can just go home whenever they want.
Yeah, they do,
and they
absolutely.
can go to the digital world, and they don't have to eat, they don't have to sleep in the digital world. They just go home to their own bed every night.
The one thing they don't have quite as easy is that time is the same. So when the other kids spent 6 months away and it was an hour, no one was like, oh, where did they go?
Yeah, they can't just go to the digital world for several days anymore. They have to go home.
Also,
it's safe anyway because the main antagonist goes home at night too.
Except that it was nighttime in this episode and he was still there.
No, it was only nighttime in that forest, which I think it's only explained in the dub, I think, why it's nighttime.
Why?
Because Palmon says this is the night forest, it's always night here.
So she fell into the night forest?
Yeah, I can't remember if that's explained in the Japanese version or not.
That's really silly.
It might be explained in the Japanese version, I might have just missed it, but it's definitely explained in the Japanese version.
Is it underground? I can't tell.
I don't know.
She falls into it.
How did this episode compare to what you thought about it?
Pretty sure I was totally wrong. All of it was wrong.
Well, going to be danger.
I guess there would be danger. And this is a 7, maybe?
Really? Yeah. I think that's probably the best episode that we've seen this far, because I don't think we've gotten a 7 yet.
Because I like Palmon a lot.
Yeah, Palmon's good.
And a lot went on, and very little of it was pointless fighting. And in the fight that happened, it wasn't straight up fighting.
It was
other stuff
strategy.
going on.
It was 100%. Well,
Yeah, and the dudes they were fighting weren't dinosaurs or more dinosaurs or big snowmen that don't say anything. They were enemies with personality in it, and it was really nice to see. And it's like, this isn't hard. It's really not. But they couldn't do it for the previous episode. They haven't been able to do it before.
Like, I think that what they're trying to introduce is that the older kids have strategy now. Like, they don't have just, let's punch the dude in the face. They have, like, let's strategy. To evolve, we have to destroy the Dark Tower. Like, that's what the kids do now, because they gained all this experience. It wasn't just let's fight. They learned to work out other things and ways about it.
This pattern of episodes can't keep up, because they keep leaving an old kid's Digimon to look after an area, but there are like hundreds of Dark Towers.
Yeah, well, they've already gone through...
5 of them?
Yeah, they've gone through Tai and Matt. And I mean, I guess Izzy and Sora were covered in like the second episode, but not really.
I'm nodding, you can't see on the radio.
They sort of said that they'd protect the area. I can't remember how the next episodes go. But no, I can. But anyway, I guess we're...
Yeah, and then TK and Kari don't have the liberty of doing that. So there's only 6 kids to look after 6 areas. And then there's 200 left.
They just need to get Mathmon to do the long division. In the long division.
Isn't Ken Mathmon? Because he can balance the checkbook of the nation.
And play chess while...
20 people watch!
So, what episode do you think was better? The second
one?
Yeah.
It's right
I don't
there.
even know why I have that as a question. Like, now we discuss them, like, with
because
the ratings.
you asked me what rating I give them.
Yeah. But, the second version was better. Like, I guess if they had us the same rating, we would talk about what was better. But this was like... I mean, I liked Old Reliable. I thought it was a good episode. Yes, they removed something in the English version, but it's still a good episode. The second episode was much better. I do like Mimi and I do like Palmon. And I think that their reunion was like... It was touching, it was cute. I liked it. It made me happy.
They sure did touch.
Miyako sure did touch Mimi.
Whoa!
There were Digimon introduced in this episode, which... It weren't evolutions for the children.
They were big cockroaches.
So first we have Ebidramon.
It looks classic. It actually looks better than Shellmon ever did. And it would probably fit a better space. But it still looks awkward and creepy and I don't like its face.
Well, that's the point. Like it's.
But yeah, that's what it wants. So it's a good review.
Yeah. What about Roachmon?
It's fine. Like it looks exactly like you'd imagine. It's a cartoony counterpart to Kabuterimon.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. Or Kawagamon even.
I meant Kawagamon.
Oh, did you? Okay.
But that said, I was also correct the other way.
Yeah. And what about Mimi?
She looks dumb.
She got a Digimon Analyzer, so technically she's a Digimon.
So she is.
I'm not even Jedi had a Digimon Analyzer. She's more Digimon than Jedi.
Yeah, she's got these weird stars in her hair now, and I don't understand.
Well, I think, I think her hair's not meant to be pink. I think it's meant to be strawberry blonde.
She says strawberry blonde.
In the English version.
Are you sure? Alright, everybody, join us in the next episode of Log Horizon, Guardian Angel.
Or Hikari's Memories.
And Ken's Secret.
Or the Digimon Kaiser's Loneliness.
I wonder what his secret is. What could it possibly be?
Right. So we will be here next week. Presuming like we don't die tomorrow because it's going to be like 43 degrees Celsius.
Are we recording before Christmas or on Christmas?
So the next episode we'll be recording. On the Wednesday instead of Friday because Christmas. I love Christmas. But so we'll be recording on Wednesday. So if you really want to get on the next show, probably send a message before Wednesday our time. So I guess that's Tuesday for the rest of the most.
Pretty much.
So the show notes will be linked in the description. And thanks to our patrons on Patreon.
You did it!
Yeah, I said it correctly that time. I'm very proud of me. Stephen Patamon, who you can follow at Stephen Patamon on Twitter. Wuchinglong, who has a Twitch stream, which is twitch.tv/WUQINGLONG. And we also have MetalMamemon, Joe, and Thunder. So if you want to support us, that'd be pretty cool. From $1 a month, you can get our Undying Affection, and from $2 a month, you can join our Digimon IRC that Jay, I still needed. I think I linked Jay to it.
They didn't.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And we added a bunch more rewards and stuff.
We'll do stuff.
Like
It'll be great.
Like you can Skype with us.
I will say boopa peepo.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And yeah, so just check. Like, we'd appreciate it if you at least considered it. That'd be pretty cool. Like, we do put a lot of effort into this and time, and
They put a lot of effort into this.
you have to watch Digimon.
That is a lot of effort. You're
And
right.
you don't you were originally not happy with the idea.
Originally, yeah. Only originally.
See you next week. Presume we don't die in the 43-degree heat.
Boopa peepo.
いつもいつもいつでもみんなの声がするきっと誰でも強くなれるね
Well, I think I think her hair's not meant to be pink. I think it's meant to be strawberry. Oh, there's a spider on me.
Are you sure? Or are you freaking out over nothing?
No, there's a spider on me.
You're gonna hear a legit freak out on a hair. Where are you looking?
I don't know if it was crawling on me.
Where?
It could 100% be that bit of fluff, though.
I think you just freaked out over nothing. Do you want to keep this in the show?
I'll put it out for the credits. I'm actually crying. I thought there was a spider on me and I freaked out.
It was fluff from the cops.
So we're not recording over Skype, we're actually recording in person. And...
Your pants are inside out. Okay, we done?
Okay. 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 Okay.